Hey guys!
Hello!
So we thought we'd do a little workshop video because we've been very busy with our summer home renovations. There was a shelf sitting here, but instead now we have a hole going through to the other room, all nicely portholed up. It actually has a aluminum black shroud in there with the projector hidden behind. And the IR repeater system that we sell in our Tindy store is being used there to transfer the remotes from this room over into the other room. And our projection wall we totally redid. Over on this side there was a doorway. There is no longer a door there. We wanted to center the screen, so we closed up that doorway, and we did a special paint mix that includes a flat white base, a silver, like metallic silver, pearlescence, and polyacrylic mixture that we custom put up ourselves. And let's check out what Addie was doing in her tea room.
So we always use the foot to like...
The system we worked out is when you see one foot come out in the air,
That's when you
it's
stop?
like, we're gonna be done.
Yeah, that's the last.
This little
It makes it a little easier.
I think there was some good stuff in there.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
I think there was some good stuff in there. Okay. Welcome to the tea room, which is our sunroom, really. So this is the view that we normally get, but up until now we actually haven't really been able to enjoy it because we haven't had any seating. So instead of buying it, we thought we'd make some custom seating. And so that's kind of like a day bed of sorts. And that's another couch there. But, so the foam custom is actually cheaper than the original method I was going to use. That still needs to be reupholstered. And then the storage on the bottom here will be like wicker baskets. So it'll look pretty fancy schmance once we're done. And then there will eventually be a table in the middle, and above that table is going to be my cute little hot air balloon lamps. They're adorable. And they didn't take that long to make. They're just IKEA lamps upside down with little mason jars here for the seats. And those are coming out of our ceiling fan, so that'll sit nicely above the table. But yeah, so designed, built, 2 weeks.
So when we closed up the wall, we didn't actually want to waste the door space, so we decided instead to build a cabinet slash shelf in the existing doorway. So the new drywall for the other room's wall is the back of this, and it's pine construction. It's all done with dados and
Brad nails.
And some white paint. And we customized it to hold exactly what we wanted to hold up there. musical instruments. There's quivers on the side for holding violin bows. We got harmonicas. The bookshelves are the perfect height for all of our Tor-sized, Del Rey-sized fantasy science fiction stuff. And guitar picks and tuners, rosin, fiddles. We got some artwork in there too. That's stuff that Donna made when she visited with Toba.
Yep. Eric Stein.
She painted that one too.
Yeah, that one's for me, and that one was for Whisker.
I get the small one.
I got the orange one. So yeah. No, but it turned out pretty nice. And
It's only a couple days of work to do this.
yep. One day to cut the wood and prep the wood, and another day to stick it in and paint it, really.
We're also in the middle of a bunch of overhauls in the studio. You might notice here that instead of the usual 2 mics, we have 4 mics set up. And there's a lot of back-end stuff that we've been changing about that. But here in the studio, space is always a consideration. So what we've been doing is working on these hidden storage compartments that are up against the wall and fold down. We don't have the end pieces on yet.
They will eventually be put on the...
Let's go over to the other side.
Where it is open.
Yeah, this side's all opened up. There's a piano hinge that runs along the bottom. And we can store all the things that we need up here, but that we don't need up here out. Right, like I need to work on these keyboards, but I'm not going to be able to do that right away. I need to restore that Coco 2. There's the original IBM motherboard. We need to build a frame for that. So basically these things are all in progress, but they're not going to get done in the next few months. So out of sight. So I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but we've been shooting on this camera. It's the Blackmagic micro cinema camera. And our old lenses we're gonna have to get rid of because they're too soft for this. They're vintage, you know, cheap off of eBay, 1960s era, you know, cheap old lenses. And we had to swap out for this new one because Addie really was not at all pleased with the softness of the images that we are getting. Now I don't think that we've actually published anything that we've shot with this lens yet. So that will be coming up here shortly. We're currently in production on a video that's being shot completely on this. And this is actually very interesting. This is just an experiment, but I think it's an experiment worth doing. This is an anamorphic projector lens from, gosh, it's got to be 50s, 40s maybe. Basically what this does is multiplies the width of your image by 2. So this has a 16:9 aspect ratio sensor on it. This takes a 32:9 view and squeezes it onto that. And then once I get that into my video editor, I change the pixel aspect ratio to get really super wide screen footage out of this camera while using every pixel on the sensor. And given that this is very non-standard to put on a camera, I had to come up with some creative solutions here. It matters what direction this is compared to the camera. I needed to have it so that the camera can rotate relative to that front lens. So this is a clamp, and there's a little band of metal underneath it that John S. suggested. I took some tin and just sort of made my own little band there to protect this old lens from these clamping screws. So if I were to loosen one of these, I could turn the camera until the iris of the anamorphic lens was lined up in the correct orientation to the camera. And also I needed a way to get this heavy thing onto a tripod. So I built this out of black walnut, and that just sort of clamps around the anamorphic lens. And if you look, you can see that there's leather in there, also there to protect that lens and give a nice, really hard sticky, almost clamping effect on it.
And it looks like the wings. Looks like a pilot.
The top part here is left like this so that we can mount a monitor to this later. And these are left here later so that we can add handheld handles to the sides of this. And you'll notice that this particular camera has what looks like a VGA port on it. This allows you to build your own circuit to control a lot of the features of that camera, and we'll be able to throw together a prop or whatever with controls on the handles to control our zoom and focus and white balance and all that sort of stuff without having to mess with the menus on the camera. So expect to see some really good looking footage coming out of this rig here. All right then.
Relaxing time. Just kidding.
Yeah, we haven't done any of that lately.
We still have much more to do, but for now, this is the progress we've made in the last few weeks. Wish we could enjoy it, but still many more things left to do. And we'll be sure and show you guys that when it all happens.
I like this room now. It's comfy.
I always saw its potential, Whisker.
You need to finish the upholstery for these cushions though.
Yeah, gotta first learn how to do that. But
She
so far,
also forgot to mention that
all of our
her
games.
video gaming stuff is all down here.
Yeah.
SNES.
Let me show. I can show. The N64, SNES. Woo! Some sewing stuff.
Why don't we have an NES?
The Ouya. I haven't really been compelled by any of the games just yet.
Sadness.
Yeah, well.
All right.
One day.
That's it for us. We'll see you guys next time.
Ciao.
Bye.
We post videos all the time, so don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Twitter at TYMKRS.